It's the book of Psalm 82 and 5 in the AMP. The rulers do not know, nor do they understand. They walk on in the darkness of complacent satisfaction. All the foundations of the earth, the fundamental principles of the administration of justice are shaken. And before I get on with this video, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopeful elect. Of your brother Yahweh call from Great Millstone, Orlando. And I'm back with the continuation of this series. I believe this is part 5. Going into the delusions of these women and why you do in fact need a man. All right. Being that we're in this environment where the Israelite woman working in tandem with the so-called white man, which goes back to the Gardenian Pact in Genesis. And with that being said, being that these women being beguiled, they have been fooled. Into thinking, again, that they don't need a man. Yet, you wonder why there is this culture of simps, weak beta males, why there's this destructive culture of these YNs, these broccoli heads, these monsters, as the scriptures say, being that the majority of these children, and more particular the young men, because as the scriptures say, which I'm going to get, as far as binding the strong man, you see, this is something that was strategic with Esau by the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai on the left hand, being that the Israelite man being the leader, the head under Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, and that structure has been, as I read here, going into the fundamental principles of the administration of justice are shaken. Because reading this in the regular version, it says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So, again, the fundamental principles of the structure of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you have the man, the woman, and the children. But again, the fundamental principles have been stripped. And everything in this society under the rudiments of Esau, Edom, have been, everything is backwards. So with that being said, this is why there's, for the most part, broken households. All right. Men and women not being able to really come into unison, because the scriptures talk about how when it comes to marriage and a man and a woman coming together in unison, that is a beautiful thing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. When a man and a woman can come together in one spirit, one flesh, in that unison, that's a beautiful thing. But again, under the hand of Esau, where he's perverted justice, all right, this is why we see what we see in the world today. chaos and confusion, because going to this in Matthew chapter 12. And this is why, as Israelite man, coming back into our power structure, as the scriptures say, getting our house in order, which it starts with us first and foremost, our way of thinking, our mindset. Because again, being raised as leaders, it starts with us as a man and an Israelite man, as the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, hearing the conclusion of the matter, fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, for this is the duty of a man. So this is our true purpose, serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because as a man, there is a sense of duty as a man. But of course, the foundations of this earth is all out of course. So that's why, again, on that same note, quoting that precept, putting off the mortal flesh, all right, casting off the cares of man and things of that nature, putting off the mortal way of thinking. Because a part of that thinking process is, like I said, as men, we have a natural sense of duty, a natural sense of servitude and purpose. But we were taught that that purpose is to serve the woman and the children, to be the family man, whatever the case may be. Which, as a man, you're supposed to take care of your family, if you have one, take care of your business. But that's not our sole purpose. All right. So these are the things that we learn learning along the way. Again, coming back into true manhood, plugging back into the power source, which is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because again, it starts with us. All right. The woman, she's not the leader. All right. She can't lead herself. This is why her emotions dictates how she feels, and she ends up making decisions that's not for anyone's best of interest. You see, Slakia, I do believe one of these videos actually touches on that, or maybe not. Yeah. Before I grab this precept, I'm gonna play this first clip.
Stand up, young men, right now, and they only 12 and 11.
I love you
now,
boys.
but they stand up right now.
Boys,
I
not
got young
men.
niggas.
No woman can raise
But
a
they
son
will.
into a man. The only way a son can become a man is through a father. The other way is discovering it on his own. You haven't lived the male experience. You lived a female experience. The female experience is more privileged than a man's position. This chick is on a stripper pole. Can a nigga get on a stripper pole and make bread like that?
Yes,
Heck
you
no.
can. Yes,
No,
you
you're
can.
speaking about the exception. I knew y'all was going to say
Okay.
that. That exception of men that actually go on a stripper pole and dance, they don't even make a fraction of the money that strippers make. So what I'm saying is facts. You don't have to work. You can sell pussy and still make it. You live life on freaking easy mode. You don't get it. You can't raise no son. It ain't happening. You don't understand the male experience. So the only thing you can hope for is maybe some nigga that you can bag as a stepfather to raise that nigga for you. And if not, you better hope that God is with your son to raise that nigga into a man. If not, he ain't being no man. He gonna be like all of these other whips that y'all chicks complain about. Sassy boys. Oh, these feminine. Oh, they're leading me on. They're selling me a dream. They're not being masculine and telling me the truth. He's gonna be like one of those niggas. The niggas that y'all chicks complain about. What are you talking about? You raising a boy into a boy. He will never be a man.
I have to
Actually, that's not the clip I wanted to play, but nevertheless, it does tie into the whole topic. All right. Again, the fact that the male figure has been taken out of the household, which again is strategically done by Esau. Before I grab that, I'm gonna grab this. Because, touching on this topic, I always try to balance it out, because dealing with this type of topics is not to say that women are, well, as of right now, the Israelite woman, and that's why it would be best to just, for brothers that are burning, just pay for what you need at this point. Because one way or the other, it's not like you're going to pay for it one way or the other. But it is better to just pay for what you need, hit it and quit it. All right, no strings attached. Because at this point, as of right now, and this is why there needs to be a purging. There needs to be a great humbling. Because like one of the beloved brothers in my camp, Gabar, says, these women that are there, because, it's just like, when are they going to get it? When are they going to get it? And they'll get it when, again, this great purging takes place. Because again, to quote the beloved brother, these women, they're not lamenting. They're not lamenting. So, as of right now, you just got to let them have it. As of right now, this is their playground. This is their time to rule. All right. But I'm going to grab this real quick in Sirach 23 and 22. It says, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in heir by another. You see, because like old boy was explaining as far as women raising men, boys into men. Now, there are always a few exceptions to the rule, but we're not talking about the few exceptions. All right, we're talking about the majority. And overall, women can't raise men. As a matter of fact, and like old boy was breaking it down, because you just better hope you get some sucker to step in to play the whole Captain Saber hole. But even with that being said, that whole Captain Saber hole, man, that spirit more and more is going out the window. Other than that, you just better hope that Yahweh Bashmal Shah is dealing with that nigga, man. You see, because again, you wonder why, like I said, this culture with these YNs and these broccoli heads, these unruly children, specifically the young men, all right? You walking around here effeminate, getting locked up, just all dealing with all manner of issues. Well, because again, strategically by Esau, he's broken up that he's binded the strong man. He's taken that male figure, that authoritative figure, out the house. So there's no structure, there's no discipline. You see, we'll go to this next clip.
Please. I was having a conversation with my husband, and I was like, why is it that statistics show that women have a hard time raising up boys to be men, but men statistically can raise girls up to be women? And he said, because men have both chromosomes, X and Y. And so I looked it up, and women only have XX chromosomes, but they have X or Y, determining the sex of the baby. When there's a fertilized egg, we can only contribute an X, but man could contribute an X or Y, which validates the Bible because it says God over man, man over woman, woman over children. So the reason why I think women struggle to raise up boys to be men, and men don't struggle as much to raise up girls to be women, is because when God took the rib out of Adam and made a woman, yes, he made a helpmate for man, but he also made an extension of man. And this is why it says for husbands to wash your wives with the word and present her to yourself, and to see her as your own body, because she is essentially an extension of you. I was having a conversation.
Like I was saying, we're in this culture where it's hard for a man and a woman to pair bond because these women have been given all this liberty to get abroad, have fun, all right, and not be in order. So it's hard to pair bond. It's hard to establish that connection, all right, because you know, as a woman, your body is designed to take in, to absorb like a sponge, right? That's why, as the scriptures say, when it comes to children, the child, you know, he comes from the father's nutsack. So technically, that's the father's possession. He or she is the father's possession. That's why in any situation, all right, as far as the last name, because, you know, sometimes you will have a woman and she'll have a child, but she might not like the man that she had the child with. So she might end up giving the child her last name rather than his. But what you don't understand is your last name goes back to a man, you know, showing you that you're a possession unto a man. All right. You see, so forgot what I was going to get. But let me play this one.
Getting home. What time you getting home, baby? If it was familiar to her, it was because her father asked that. It's familiar to me because I had a real father who protected, who provided. For women who have fathers who are really in their life who say, baby, that's too much.
Yeah.
Or he says, you know, what time you getting home?
Yeah.
Or that's too late. Or my dad would even tell me, baby, listen, you get more bees with honey when it comes to a man. He said, daddy don't mind you being strong, but when I see you in your relationships, you wear the pants, baby. It's okay if that's what you want. But if you ever want to switch it up and get a different kind of man, you got to let them overalls go a little bit. But see, that's a real father who's telling me right for wrong. So my point of telling you is when a man comes in and says, why didn't you pick up your phone? To fatherless girls, that's controlling.
Damn.
To a woman who had a father who loved her, who served me, who doted on me. To me, you're a husband. Now, if you let me go out to 10, 12, 11 o'clock at night and you don't show any concern, guess what? I'd ask you not to call me no more.
Oh, my God.
Because how come you weren't concerned about your woman that you have an intent of wanting to marry or an intention of being a family man or a husband? So I'm just showing you men out there, when you get women who are not used to what protection looks like, you don't need to down her or you don't need to disempower her, but you need to check with yourself and say, wait a minute, I want a woman who is open and receptive to a man protecting her when you're getting home.
And you could tell the difference. You can tell dealing with these women, whether they have a father or that male influence in their life. You can usually tell. All right. You know, some sort of an authoritative structure. You can tell. Which again, going back to showing you how, as a woman, you're in a possession of a man. Like I said, your very name. All right. It goes back to a man because you are a possession unto a man. All right. But again, this was a part of the beguiling, the deception that the serpent has fed to Eve. All right. And thinking that, hey, what do they say? Anything that you can do, I can do better. Again, you know, these women being popped up on this pedestal, and now you're walking around here thinking that you don't need a man, thinking that you're better than a man, and Now you're wondering why you're through. You're wondering why you're through. Because we're in this age where there's a crying for wine in the street. And a part of that crying for wine, where are all the good men at? Right? Well, I always say they're walking right past you going to work. They're walking right past your ass going to work. And now you're starting to see, and now you're starting to feel the effects. You don't need a man and this and that. Right? You know, because as the scriptures say, where there's no hedge, there is the spoil becomes a possession. All right. And again, Salaki, I think I quoted that wrong. Where there was no hedge, let me grab it. It's a Mr. Rock. Bear with me. I believe that's Sirach 36. So Ecclesiasticus 36. And verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So you see, because as the one clip was going into, the woman is supposed to be an extension of that man. All right. That helped me. And that's why I was saying, in this society, in this culture, you can't really establish that connection with these women because they've been conquered by many other men. So it's hard to establish that connection. It's difficult. You see, because again, as a woman, you are you absorb. That's why it's best for you to take baths rather than showers. Soak yourself in baths. Your body, your incubator. You see, again, that's why the seed of the child, it belongs to the father. But again, being in this backward society where the foundations of the foundations of this earth is all out of course, right? A woman, she can commit adultery, infidelity against her husband and get incentives. And not only that, she can take the man for what he's got and get alimony. She'll get rewarded for it. Everything in this society is backwards. It's all backwards. You see, versus in the scriptures, how it's supposed to be done. If a woman, if she wanted to leave, her ass would leave with nothing. All right. Her ass was supposed to leave with nothing. But, this is what we get being under the management of Esau. So again, it's Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. And the scripture said that as far as a woman, your thinking capacity is nowhere near on the level of a man. All right, I have many other videos. That's why I'm going to continue this series, Lord willing. Just dealing with. I've got one clip going into how, as a man, we want you, because at the end of the day, a man is going to protect what he loves. All right, a man is going to protect what he's like. A man is going to protect what belongs to him. He's going to protect his property. You see, so as just said here, the fact that you because a wife is interchangeable with a woman. It means the same thing. All right, and as a woman, as a wife, you are that man's possession. All right, but in the clip, it's going into that how as a woman, you just want to be happy. Yeah, and this is why you make decisions based off of your happiness, which often doesn't include the man and how he feels. Or like I said, you make decisions. It's not for anyone's best of interest. And that's why you wonder why shit goes to shit. But just making a point as far as that thinking capacity, like I said, that part was given unto the man. All right. And you're just supposed to forward his enterprise. All right. Now, like I was saying before, because this is not to sound misogynistic. I always try to bounce it out, because you as you woman, you have your roles. All right, and very important roles. As it just said here, a help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. So you have very important roles. It's just not on the forefront. It's more so on the back burner, which there's nothing wrong with that. Again, when it's done in Yahweh Shemal Shai, hey, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong when you apply the love of Yahweh Shemal Shai, because that's real love. All right, applying Yahweh Shemal Shai, his law, statutes, and commandments. You can never go wrong. So your roles are important. All right, your roles are very important. But as the scriptures say, being that you're the weaker vessel, as a woman, you're the weaker vessel, and you don't think wisely. You don't deal with wisdom. Again, that part was given unto the man. All right, and that's why again is he's in the position to lead. All right, and it just goes back to the classic game of follow the leader, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the order. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the problem is being in this Western culture and this Western way of thinking. All right, because we all have to report to someone. I report to supervisor on this job, although he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But at the end of the day, he's my superior. The heads of my camp. I'll follow the leader, the leaders. All right, the men above me. It's all about order, and this is what's lacking, order. But again, we're in the time where order is being reestablished, and when all hell breaks loose, you women are going to get in order. And when it's all said and done and it gets bad out here, because one thing about it, everyone reverts back to their nature. All right. And as a woman, your nature is to be a possession. So this is why when the minute something so-called bad happens, you're quick to help, cry out for help. All right. Matter of fact, let's play a few of these clips.
Put a finger down if you independent and don't get a nigga. I'm literally on the side of the road in North Carolina, and I don't have nobody to fucking call to help me. I've been stuck on the side of the road for at least 40 minutes, and ain't nobody stopped yet. And I'm already chasing my tire already. And I mean, it ain't really nobody's obligation to stop on the side of the road to help anybody. But, damn! Put a finger.
Like I said, man, that whole Captain Save-O spirit, man, is going out the door more and more. And you women are about to be in a real pitiful case. All right, this is just one of many videos, man. Right. I'm gonna go to this one.
This is my wife.
Yeah,
I'm her protector.
Yes, sir.
Stop coming to this fucking window. You're making me nervous.
Oh, yes, sir. Come here.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Listen, I love this woman with my life. I'll kill some shit about this right here.
No, 20 years.
Listen.
I know 20 years.
Thank you. Please make her feel comfortable.
Daughter.
Please.
Daughter.
I love you.
4 grandbaby.
I love you, Randy.
4 grandbabies.
Make sure she
Yes.
is comfortable
Yes.
at all times.
Yes, sir.
If you want to say something to her,
Yes, sir.
please don't
Yes.
go past this fucking headlight.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir.
She's 100 pounds,
Yes, sir.
5
Quit
feet
saying
2.
that. Quit.
The love of my life.
I know what that's like.
Please.
I've had it twice.
Whew. You okay, baby? She's so fragile. You feel me?
Twice. 40 years.
I got you, baby.
So you see, man, those just a classic example of what if that man wasn't there? Because as it says in verse 25, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So, like I said, you women are more and more finding out, or you're feeling the effects of what it is to not be under a man's covering. more and more you're feeling it. And hey, unfortunately for you, you're going to be taken. You're going to become a spoil. So when that day comes, and like we say all the time, hey, keep that same attitude to this black queen, right? Keep the same attitude. All right. Because those tears, they don't mean nothing to Jake at this point. You know, they don't mean nothing. All right. I got this video.
Man's property.
I'm nobody's property, honey.
Okay, so I don't have no. Hold on. So he has no business treating you like his property, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. The only thing that I've ever seen people be willing to defend and die for are things that were valuable to them that belong to them. You can't name me anything that does not belong to a man that he's willing to die for. Now go ahead, try it. You have the floor. Name me something that a man is willing to defend or die for that is not his property.
You got a point.
So why does it sting so bad to say that?
Because you're westernized. That's all. You're westernized. You women are westernized. You got to come up out of that way of thinking. You got to come up out of the Babylonian way of thinking. You see, the same way as us, the men, as it says in Romans the 12th chapter, being transformed by the renewing of our minds. Well, you women gotta change your way of thinking too, because you know, the elder Amawan Gabar from the main camp, you know, he mentioned how because we're all about to be tested, and a part of a big test, which a lot of women are going to fail, but that's all right. All right. Because the Lord doesn't have it to where women totally outnumber men. All right. I believe that the numbers are 14-1. That's not by coincidence. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're replaceable. So for those of you that don't want to get down with the program, wait, there's 10 other women. All right. And, you know, 10, like 7 can mean completion. So there's a complete amount of number of women that, you know, more than willing to take your spot. All right. Because that's another thing, you know, you women, especially if you have a man of the Lord, you don't know how good you got it. Because here it is. You got sisters. You know, they want to be with a man of the Lord because they don't have one. You know, so they don't know what it's like. So in a sense, it's like sitting on the what do they say? What's the saying? You know, you're on the outside looking in. As far as the sisters that are actually looking for a man, all right, a man of the Lord. But you women, you're being around a man of the Lord all the time. You're complacent. You're comfortable. So you don't know how good you've got it. But going back to the elder's point about, because again, we're all going to be tested in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the big test for a lot of you women is going to be when Isaiah 4:1 comes around. All right. But making the point, or, you know, as a Jake's, we're making the point about, and like I played in this clip, you see, that's why the scriptures talk about the jealousy of a man. All right. Because, you know, men and women love differently. All right. Men love for real. This is why a man is willing to crash out for his woman, for what belongs to him. All right. Which, again, you women, you are a man's property. You are his possession. All right. Regardless if it's nails on the chalkboard to you, you are his possession. You see, when he doesn't give a shit about you and he just lets you do whatever you want or whatever the case may be, then you better be worried. When he stops giving a damn, that's when you should be worried. All right. Going back to that whole male authoritative figure. All right. That father figure in a sense, you see, because, you know, if he ain't asking questions, you got to be home by a certain time. No, you can't hang out with Keisha and them. If he's not like that, then that's the type of man that you want. All right. A man that cares. You see. But again, you're too westernized. Oh, he's abusive. Oh, he's controlling. You know, or whatever the case may be. Right. But that's why, again, you know, your whole way of thinking is going to be changed. And especially when when it's a dog eat dog world out here. You know, you women are going to be without protection. right? Got these next clips.
And are now impersonating ICE agents in order to get away with raping women. This is something that we said would happen, and we were told it wouldn't happen, and now it's happening. So I'm going to play out a scenario for you, and please tell me what the fuck these people are supposed to do. Pretend you're an undocumented migrant. Now a man in plain clothing with a mask who refuses to identify himself comes up to you and says, "Hey, get in my car, I'm ICE." What are you supposed to do? You A, get into their car, and they happen to not be who they said they are. You get kidnapped and taken away to a location in which you don't even know. And who fucking God knows what is going to happen to you. Or B, you refuse to because you heard about this story and now you're scared shitless, and all of a sudden you catch extra charges because that unmasked, plain-clothed man who refuses to identify himself actually was a government official. This is the situation that we have put these people in now. They have to get into cars with random fucking people who refuse to identify themselves, and they're just rolling the fucking dice. This is insane. My name is Mercedes Chandler.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be nowhere by yourself, all right? You know, things like this will be diverted because, as I just read, where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled. A lot of times when you watch these serial rapists and things of that nature, these predators or whatnot, they go after the vulnerable, you know, and oftentimes they're asked in these interviews, well, how do they pick their targets? Well, hey, oftentimes they'll tell you, hey, if she has a father or she has a husband, that male figure is oftentimes 9.9, 10 times out of 10, he's a deterrent. You see? Because again, hey, as a man, while you women are walking around in La La Land, all right, in that Ezel spirit, right? That la-di-da-di-da spirit, right? Just not aware of your surroundings, no situational awareness whatsoever until the calamity is already in your face and it's too late. Meanwhile, as a man, you know, we walk into an establishment, hey, as a man, we're checking all the exits, looking at all the possible threats, potential threats, you know, scoping everything out, you know, just in that warlike attitude. You see, in the spirit, right, which, you know, when you're in the spirit, when you go into the spirit, it goes into a warlike energy, warlike spirit. So being in the spirit, so you see the dynamic. All right. Again, as I quoted, as far as wisdom and applying wisdom, you know, that part was given unto the men. All right. Because you women, you don't got it. You don't got it. And you're easy picking. That's why we're going to see more cases like this. All right. You women are going to be put in more of these uncertain predicaments, more of these uncertain situations because you think you got it. And you simply don't. All right.
On the morning of May 11th, just after 10 a.m., a woman was walking her dog near the intersection of Addison Street and Lee Road when she noticed a gray Toyota 4Runner driving past her several times. As the woman continued to walk, the SUV suddenly turned, blocking her path. The driver of this SUV pointed a handgun at her and ordered her to get into the vehicle. The woman quickly ran off, and the suspect vehicle drove out of the area. The Toyota 4Runner that was involved was later recovered, and it had been reported stolen earlier in the morning. The suspect was caught on camera near the location where the vehicle was stolen. In this video, you'll see the suspect is an average build, has black hair, and may have a tattoo on his left forearm. If you recognize the suspect in this video or have any information that could help identify him, please call the Orange County Sheriff's Office or Crime Line at 1-800.
Slakia. So, as I just read, again, where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled. All right. And the whole idea of Isaiah 4:1 and having multiple women around. It's not going to be sounding too crazy here in a minute, because again, you as a woman, and again, being the weaker vessel, being in easy picking, like I said, it's like you. So, like I said, being the weaker vessel and the easy picking, you're gonna want the extra company, because again, you shouldn't be going nowhere by yourself. You should have some type of a chaperone or someone with you, man. That's how it was done in the ancient world. All right. And for you people that talk shit all the time, well, that was in the Bible times. Well, newsflash, we are still in Bible times. All right. I don't think I played this one yet.
Best places in the world to find out what the protection of men looks like versus when they take it away. Iraq was more progressive than the United States back in 56. You can look it up. They were actually more progressive when it came to women's rights. Until the Shiites, I think, took over. And literally within seconds, it went back, they were wearing burqas. Because there was no protection from the men. Right now, if men didn't protect women, y'all could walk out in this street and no one can stop it. Who's going to stop it? Men keep other men in check. That's why it's sad that women talk so low to men when literally women wouldn't have anything if men decided we're not going to give it to you.
Damn.
Men lower themselves to raise women up. Because if a man decided that he wanted to just continue to oppress you, what could you do to stop it? If men collectively said, we're going to continue to women, we're going to continue to keep women in the house and barefoot and pregnant, what could women do to stop it?
Nothing.
Thank you, dear.
That's a fact.
So men should be looked at a lot better than they are because we're looked at as horrible people and we're literally protecting and building society. Follow Masculine Craze for more.
So you see, and the fact that, again, man, the simple fact, women don't work for anything, for real. I saw this quote. It says something along the lines of, women get complimented so much that one insult, it destroys them because they're used to getting all these compliments. Meanwhile, as a man, men get beat down so much, looked down upon so much, talk shit about so much. The minute as a man gets a compliment, then it's just one of those things that completely changes his countenance. Because we're, as a man, we're not used to that compliment. But thankfully to those of us, we have the brothers in the brotherhood. That's why this brotherhood is so special. But outside of that, man, this world doesn't give a fuck about an Israelite man, period. But especially when it comes to an Israelite man, but hey, more and more Yahweh Shema Shai is taking away, stripping the comforts. All right, and reality is starting to set in more and more because you women have to be purged, man. The same way that Yahweh Shema Shai, he's dealing with his men. He's dealt with his men harshly as sons, chastising and things of that nature. Well, again, part of like I said, you women being put on a pedestal, a part of that Gardenian pact, you're being put on the pedestal. You think that you're exempt from judgment, and that's not the case whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when it comes to 2/3, there's going to be more women getting jacked up than men. All right, Ezekiel 9, it tells you how I'm gonna grab it real quick because the Lord has a bone to pick with a lot of you women, man, for how you did the Lord's men. All right, to show you how much, because and this is dealing with a 2/3 nigga, to show you how when it comes to the importance and significance of a man, the Israelite man. Even if you have a wicked nigga for a husband, you're still supposed to treat him like a king. You're still supposed to submit to him. All right, you're not supposed to talk bad about him. You know, ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to deal with him. All right, so even if you have a wicked 2/3 nigga as a husband, you're still not supposed to badmouth that man. You still supposed to respect him, worship him essentially. Right. Ezekiel 9. Hell, when you go to what's that? Aaron and Miriam, right? And how they murmured against Moses. The Heavenly Father didn't deal with Aaron. He dealt with Miriam. Plagued her with leprosy. She was out the camp. You see? So to show you the significance when it comes to the Israelite man under Yahweh Bashim Shai, hey, you know, it's all about order. All right. Why didn't the Lord deal with Aaron? Why did he only deal with Miriam and not Aaron? You see? So in Ezekiel 9, in the 6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. So you see this whole women and children first come first. Nah, man. All right. Yes, it's supposed to be on the back burner. All right. The men go first. The men carry the legacy. The men bring forth the seed, you know, bring back the nation. All right. Can bring back the nation. All right. It says, and women. So just want to make the point because it mentioned the maids, the children, and the women. If we're making a point, it mentioned the women twice because the Lord really has a bone to pick with you women. The majority of you American women are not going to make it. All right. And that's, you know, been taught, and it makes sense to me because a lot of you American women are just going to die. You know, but when Isaiah 4:1 starts coming around more and more, I believe there's going to be a lot of these women coming from overseas or whatnot. You know, I can see it. Like I said, a lot of you American women are trash, man, and you just know the majority of you aren't going to make it. All right, and again, don't expect no tears from us. All right, because the elect men of Yahweh Shema Shai are going to be the last man standing when it's all said and done. Because it's not to take away the fact that the Lord's going to be dealing with these men too. And that's why a man of the Lord is going to be more precious than fine gold. A lot of these dudes are going to be pookies and rares. They're going to be sent out to World War III. A lot of them are going to be dying in the streets in Babylon. All right. And like I said, it's bad enough. Like I said, the women outnumber men 14-1 already. So there's already a shortage of men as it is. A lot of these dudes are moles. All right. And like I said, a lot of them will get sent out to war. Going to be dying in the streets of America. So that's why a man of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah is going to be precious. All right. The real prize is the man. And like I said, you women that are dealing with the man of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, you don't know how good you got it. You don't know how good you got it. And if you think you're doing right by him, well, bring him another wife. If you think you're good, your situation is good, well, bring your husband another wife. Because again, that's going to be a major test for a lot of you women. That's going to be a major test for a lot of you women, man. I'm going to play this next one.
I got a question. I want to know who's more responsible for this generation of sassy men. Is it the men or the women? Who's to blame for it?
Ladies, ladies, go ahead. He's got a question.
I'm going to say the women. And let me tell you, I'm a football mom, right? Those who know me as Deshaun Gray, they know I'm a football mom. I'm not a soft-ass football mom. I got 4 boys and 1 girl. I do not believe in raising no soft-ass boy. And there's too many women who I see, single women, on top of that, bring their kids to the sports world, whether it's football, baseball, and they be out there trying to tell a man how to raise these little boys. Don't be screaming at my son. Don't be cursing at my son. I don't talk to him like that at home. Half the time, y'all motherfuckers need to talk to him like that at home. Half the time, they need their ass beat. They need to be drugged. They need to be cussed the fuck out. They need a man structure because you can't raise them. You can, but it's hard not to have that man support, not to raise a young male to be a man. So yeah, when I see these women come up there and they be out there mad at the fuck at the goddamn coach because the coach done yanked them up and snatched them up and don't touch my son, that bitch. Get your ass in the car and shut the fuck up and let him raise look to help you raise look young like you're supposed to. Because the daddy not around, you out here teaching his ass how to be fucking soft and he wants you to put on fucking makeup and have y'all sit there mad with you goddamn idiot. No, tell that little motherfucker sit down the fuck down. Tell the man tell the coach do whatever the fuck you gotta do. So yeah, it's the women. It's the women.
She's there with the fuck she's there, brother. Him and my angel. The
So you see, again, going back to the whole point, like I started off with, man, the fundamental principles, all right, the dynamic of a man and a woman, and the importance of the roles and things of that nature. It's all fucked up, all right, and it's strategically done by Esau. Mark 3:27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. So you see, and again, you women have become a spoil, all right, to the enemy. All right, cause I mean, it's sad to say, but hey, as of right now, you women are not our women. All right, and brothers, we know, man. It's just our turn, but it's all right. The Lord gives brothers what they need. For the meantime, we're pilgrims. We're just passing through. This is not our rest. All right. So, it's no big deal as of right now, but that's why we need the kingdom to come. And again, we're pilgrims along the way. So, with that being said, hey, we're passing through. We're on a mission, and I did a video the other day going into that, pressing towards the mark. That pressing towards the mark goes in, going into that press goes into a hostile, let me go to it, read it again. Because, again, as an Israelite man, hey, stay focused in Yahweh Shema Shai. Above all things, man, stay focused in Yahweh Shema Shai, man. All right? Because that's our calling. That's our whole purpose as a man. Our servitude to Yahweh Shema Shai. We can't let nothing get in the way. Nothing get in the way. All right? Damn sure not no woman. That pressing in Philippians 3:14, it says to pursue in a hostile manner, in any way, whatever, to harass. So you see, because I was making the point the other day, man, brothers got to protect your energy, protect your spirit. All right. You are the prize. All right. As the scripture said, the Lord is dealing with the flock. His flock is with men. The Lord is dealing with his men. He's dealing with you. He's dealing with brothers. He's not dealing with these women. These women, they have to get in line. They have to get in order. All right. Or not. There's going to be 10 other women that they'll fall in line. They'll fall in line. All right. Because again, like it says in Isaiah 24:1, the Lord's turning things upside down. Because again, as I started off with, the foundations of the earth are out of course. So everything's already turned upside down. So essentially, Yahweh B'Shem Shai, he's turning things right side up. So a order is being reestablished. Call Allah Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Because, this whole shit, the women allowing the children to run the households, because that's what really runs the household. For women that have children, it's really the children that run the household. And again, this is why the shit's in shambles. All right. Everything is just chaos, confusion. Everything's just fucked up, man. It's just a fucked up situation overall. And that's why we need the kingdom. But this is this is our press toward the mark. All right. We're pilgrims. This is where we're headed. All right. But again, it starts with our way of thinking, because the kingdom of heaven is already in us. It's in us. And it starts with our way of thinking. All right. Everything is about perception. All right. And how you look at things, man. And you women, you need to change your perception as well. All right. You need to change your way of thinking too. Because again, despite what you've learned from your husband, all right, your God, Esau, you're not exempt from judgment. All right. Yahweh Shema Shai has it out for you. And a lot of you women are going to get got. So you women got to tighten up, man. Or not. The Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.